They want to get that regulation in. Numerous congressmen, senators over the years have pushed for a Chinese-style internet, and that's what they want. They want the government to have the power in times of crisis, as the communist Chinese government says when it's crushing dissent in Tibet, to go down and shut down certain parts of the internet, make it off limits for people in certain areas of the country.
Oh, absolutely.
That's on record. Lieberman has pushed that for years. That's what they want with this either kill switch or this regulation of the internet. So
they talk
about them and believe them that it's just about net neutrality is completely naive.
Yeah, they talk about how they admire the Chinese approach to the internet. We've had comments from Bush and Clinton how they would love to be a dictator. And finally, we see that Obama just comes out and does it this week. And so we're going to see them do that Chinese-style internet as well. Now, joining us now, Paul, we've got Paul Craig Roberts, American economist and columnist for Creators Syndicate. And of course, he was the Assistant Secretary of the Treasury under the Reagan administration. He earned fame as co-founder of Reaganomics. Welcome, Mr. Roberts. Dr. Roberts. Sorry.
Glad to be with you.
I wanted to get your comment, and Paul's got a lot of questions for you. I wanted to get your comment on Jim Webb, who's announced his candidacy opposing Hillary Clinton. He's forming a committee to explore that. I think he could cause Hillary Clinton a lot of discomfort, I think, opposing some of the things that were done as she was Secretary of State. Of course, he was the Secretary of the Navy while you were there at the Reagan administration. He had some interesting comments about Libya. He said there were no treaties at risk, there were no Americans at risk, there were no terrorist attacks coming out of Libya. Why did we attack them? And of course, that's a direct jab at Hillary Clinton. What do you think about Jim Webb?
Well, I don't think the establishment will put up with him.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
He certainly would be a far better prospect than Hillary. There's no doubt about that. He's a real person. But because he is a real person, he would not be welcome by the power structure that selects the president.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't really know. He may simply find that he gets smeared or framed up, or some kind of accusations come forward. Or that's the usual trick they use to get rid of an unwelcome candidate.
It could certainly make things interesting for her because, of course, with his experience as Secretary of the Navy, and he was a Vietnam War vet, and he's pretty much come out against the military-industrial complex at the same time that Hillary is doing everything she can to embrace the military-industrial complex and perpetual war, isn't it?
That's right, but the fact that he's against it means they'll work against him.
Yes, absolutely. I know Paul had some questions he wanted to ask you. Go ahead, Paul. I'll bring you in on this.
Yeah, I was just reading Dr. Roberts' article earlier today. The next presidential election will move the world closer to war, in which you write, Dr. Roberts, Hillary as president would mean war with Russia. Why are we more likely to see this Cold War turn hot under Hillary than under Obama or even Bush before him?
Well, for several reasons. One, of course, we've already discussed that she's in tight with the military security complex. And, of course, she has also compared Putin to Hitler. She has made a direct comparison of the Russian president to Adolf Hitler, and that's something she can't really back away from. So when you go that far out on the limb, you really kind of have to go the rest of the way. So I think it's almost certain that if you get somebody like Hillary in the office of the president, that she will certainly accommodate the neoconservatives, who also want war with Russia because they think Russia can be defeated. And the military security complex, they'll support all of that. And of course, most of the generals, war is good for promotions. So I don't think there's any candidate that we could end up with as president that would be more likely to go to war with Russia than Hillary.
I think that's a real possibility, especially with the Republicans in control of the House and Senate. They would rubber stamp any kind of war that she want to go into in just about any place. We're going to be right back with Paul Craig Roberts and Paul Joseph Watson. Stay with us.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Are you happy doing your laundry with perfume detergents that irritate your skin? Are you happy washing your hands with stinking fragrances that gives your skin rashes? Are you happy paying new, higher prices for smaller boxes? Find your happiness today with our 1 to 4 year supply of pure soaps or our 1 to 2 month sampler with bar soap, shampoo, laundry, and dish soap at 5starsoap.com. You deserve the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. That's why for real results, so many are having to turn to painful B12 injections, which are known to have higher absorption rates. Now, InfoWarsLife.com is excited to announce that we can bring you our most bioactive, powerful form of B12 that has been developed with our exclusive perfected process. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Digestive health is key to wellness, and Pro-EM1 is the key to digestive health. Pro-EM1 is a daily liquid probiotic that improves food absorption and supports weight loss by removing toxins from your system. Recommended by doctors, Pro-EM1 is 100% natural, organic, non-GMO, wheat, soy, gluten, and dairy-free. Call us today at 888-611-8025 or visit ProEM1.com to save over $25 on your order. That's 888-611-8025 or PROEM1.com.
News flash. Home invasions are on the rise. It takes less than 10 seconds to kick in a door. 10 seconds is not enough time to protect your family. And what would happen if you're not home? Easy Armor is the ultimate security solution. 85% of break-ins are through a door. Protect your home now with Easy Armor. Go to InvasionStopper.com to get real security for under $70. That's InvasionStopper.com. Easy Armor. Your security is our only business.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in her time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and fighting.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight in Austin. We have Paul Joseph Watson in the UK, my co-host today. And on the phone, we have Paul Craig Roberts, and we only have him to the bottom of the hour. And I know that Paul Joseph Watson had a question for him about MH17. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, well, obviously we've seen this international propaganda campaign to demonize Russia over MH17, despite the fact that the State Department has repeatedly failed to provide hard evidence. It still very much remains a mystery. I just wanted to ask Dr. Roberts, has it become any clearer in your mind who was responsible for the downing of MH17? And will the NATO powers need to contrive or exploit a similar incident, maybe even on a bigger scale, to grease the skids for war against Russia in the future?
Well, it seems clear that Kiev was responsible, and probably with Washington's complicity. And the reason this seems clear is that the Dutch government just the other day announced that they weren't releasing the results of the investigation, because when the investigation was set up, an agreement was made that any participant in the investigation could veto its release. And apparently Kiev, the American puppet government in Kiev, is blocked the release. And the Dutch minister in charge of all of this said that he thought it was more important to maintain good relations between the countries who were participating in the investigation than to release the results to the public. So, assuming this news report is correct, what that tells us is that we are not going to get the results. And if you're not going to get the results, that means they are unfavorable to Kiev and to Washington. Clearly, if the results were unfavorable to Russia, they would be released. Russia is not part of the investigation and it would have no veto power over it. At least that's my understanding from the news report. Regardless, if it was against Russia, it would be released. Think how long this has been going on. It doesn't take this long to figure out what happened. They're just not going to tell us. It's something that will just disappear from the news, like Ebola, like everything else.
So do you think there has to be a new casus belli, a new justification to increase aggression against Russia, or will they just ratchet up the sanctions and the tension as they've already been doing, or will they need a new MH17 style incident to exploit?
I don't think they need anything new. If they start the violence again against the separatists, what they hope is to draw Russia into it, because what Washington really wants to do is to permanently break up the economic and political relations between Europe and Russia. And Putin knows this, and so he's not been drawn into it. He's not sending troops. He has essentially sacrificed the Russians in the separatist provinces in order to try to maintain his relationships with Europe, because he really understands that if Washington can break Russia from Europe, that Washington can continue with Europe as a vassal state. Whereas if the economic and political developments between Russia and Europe continue, Europe will be pulled away from Washington and be pulled out of NATO. And so he's willing to take the risk for the Russian residents in southeastern Ukraine in order to try to hold or to keep Europe from being irredeemably lost into American vassalage. So in my opinion, that's what's going on. It's going to be hard for them to get Russia into a war because of this, of what Putin sees the consequences with Europe.
Okay, David Knight.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. And as we pointed out earlier, as what you said, Dr. Roberts, that if Hillary Clinton becomes president, we are going to see war, because I think she's going to be there with a Republican Congress that is going to rubber stamp everything that she would want to do. I wish we had more time to talk to you, but you can only stay with us to the bottom of the hour. And thank you for joining us. This is Dr. Paul Craig Roberts we've been talking to. You can find more of his analysis at paulcraigroberts.org. And, of course, we carry his articles very frequently at Infowars.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleased to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to be right back with our reporters from Ferguson, Missouri. Jakari Jackson and Joe Biggs. Join us.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones.